In this video, we'll talk about the trades that I recently exited, the trades that I am currently in, and what my watch lists are for next week, Monday, February 1, 2021. What's happening, traders? I post weekly trading videos, so if you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. First, we have SSPK. So this was included in last week's video. I entered here partially on January 7. I added as I saw the price action confirming my trade thesis. So these are my fields in SSPK. I'll be adding the fields in each of these stickers since TraderView does not show pre-market and after hours fields. Entered here, added on the confirmation, selling on the first price target, selling some more, and then got stopped out here. VGAC, VGAP. I was scaling in. As you know, I like to scale in 1/3, 1/4, 1/2, and then add to full size if the trade confirms while moving my stop higher. Then came the market sell-off on Monday, so I got stopped out 1350s. So this is more or less a scratch trade. These are my fields, VJAC, adding. Unfortunately, I got stopped out at the bottom, but as long as I respect my stop levels and my risk dollar amount, then I'm fine with the trade. Next is PNGO. Again, I had a trade here earlier, then went back again on this surge. I had an average of 8.99. I sold some pre-market on this gap up day, but unfortunately, I got stopped out. This was the market sell-off on January 25, Monday. And here are my fields. Sold pre-market on this gap up day, and again, bottom tick sell, but it is what it is. CBAT, I felt like I was a genius because after entering, it then surged, but it looked like it was very strong, so I held and didn't sell some. It went back down. I added. I thought this was a good level to add, and then this was the day where the market sold off, so I got stopped out. These are my fields, CBAT. Entered on the add after the initial position pre-market, got stopped out. I had a very strong bias, so entered again after hours the same day. I got stopped out again. So these were two losing trades of the same ticker a day apart. SPCE. As you know from the previous video, I was accumulating here when I saw the price action with a higher low and it was about to go higher, so I held to my position. Unfortunately, I did, and I was selling on the way up. On this day, January 27, it looked like the market was very overbought, so I had sold most of my positions except BTBT and entered UVXY. So these were my fields. I was accumulating some shares here. Supposedly, bottom tick sell again on this day, but fortunately I was not able to set my stop because it was at a much lower price because I was in the money on this trade. I was selling some on the way up and I sold some after hours of January 27. So OEG, I feel like a genius again on this one. The day I entered this was the same day as I entered CBAT, and right after I entered, I saw the price action consolidating, and just in time when it was about to break 6, I saw how the volume increased, and then I read that they had a news catalyst which I believe supported that bullish move, so I immediately went in full position and was selling some, and then I exited the full position when I got stopped out on the remaining of my size. So these are my fields on OEG. Some you can't see, pre-market and after hours, but I entered pre-market, added here, sold some here, sold some again pre-market of January 27, but then I sold all of it, the remaining position, at the end of January 27 as I indicated on the SPCE trade. Next, we have RKT. I entered RKT on January 26. thinking that this might hold this level 22.64 with a stop around the 1.7. Then after hours, I added more and went in full size with a stop below 22, thinking that this had confirmed my thesis. This was the time when I thought that January 28 would have a big gap down day, so I exited RKT even before my stop got hit at 22. My fills for RKT, as you can see here, January 26, I entered full size after hours. After it looked like this was a confirmation, I exited this after hours, 22.5. So UVXY, when I was exiting my positions January 27 on most of my trades, I entered UVXY thinking about the gap down day and panic would come in. Entered around 15, directly full position with a stop at 12.5, and then I got stopped out, selling at the bottom again. Fills for UVXY, as I've said before, I entered after hours of 27, then bottom tick, sell 12.5. Lastly is BTBT. As you know, I've traded this before, 9s, 8.5s to 28, and then I was looking for the bounce trade on this after the downtrend line break and key support being held, then higher lows. So I entered this, moving stop slowly, and final stop was about 15.5. Fortunately, it didn't get hit. I sold some pre-market 24. I thought this was just a short trap and would most likely reclaim and go higher. So I set my stop at 19.8, but just to be sure, I'm lacking in some gains. Fills for BTBT. As you can see here, I was already accumulating shares, and then finally the move came, but this was more than what I had hoped. I was only targeting majority at 20, and then leaving some to trail, but I had a 25 sell partial, 21.5, 0.6, and then got stopped out majority here. Current positions, I only have two, SDC and SPCE. So SDC was on my watch since Wednesday. I did not really enter because I was still scared about market gap down. Friday, I saw this key level held, 1, 2. Then I thought this was already the confirmation of the bounce, so I entered here, but still just 1/3 of my full position, thinking that this might break 15 or just this breaking 15 so I can enter full size. But right now it looks like it was just a dead cat bounce and might go lower. So if I get stopped out here, I'll be on a loss for just about 1/3 of my full size. Next is SPCE. I saw it having a higher low, and I'm kind of bullish on this ticker, and I entered here pre-market Friday with about 1/3 of my size, again with a stop at 39.2. This gets above 47.5 or above this key level, I'd be thinking of adding full size and moving my stop higher. Possible first price target would be around 52.5 or before this all-time high, just to lock some profits in, and then I'm just gonna trail the remaining size depending on the price action. Watches for next week, only 4. So SDC and SPC are included since I haven't really gotten into full position on those two trades. APDN, this 11.5 and 12.77 are key areas. I plan on entering this within this area for a move higher. It looks like it's already having a base, and my trade thesis on this is if it gets to 16, I'll be taking most of my position, or if it gaps up big enough, I'll also be taking most of my positions, if not all, whichever comes first. Because as you can see on the daily, this gaps up, sells off, gaps up, sells off, gaps up, sells off, gaps up, sells off. So if this possibly gaps up, I'll be taking most of it, and they have earnings on February 4, so take note of that. I am thinking that they might run this up prior to February 4 and then gap up February 4 to provide liquidity, and then they can sell off again. Lastly is GRTS. This looked like it had a base around 17 based on the daily and based on the hourly. Key level here is 18.64 18.62 based on filings. I'm not yet convinced that this is gonna be moving higher, but if price action tells me that it is, then I'm gonna possibly enter partial and then above 20, most likely for full size, raising my stop depending on price action. So I'm gonna sell a third, planning to sell a third 23, planning again to sell a third 27.6, and then trail the remaining position. If you find value in this video, please help me grow this channel by hitting the like button, subscribing if you haven't done so, and share this to your family and friends. And you can also ask me questions down in the comment section below. Before we go, you will get 4 free stocks if you use the link down in the description below, sign up to Webull, and deposit $100. With that being said, respect risk and continue to hustle, trade, and invest.